Hi there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is your reading for the week of October 25th through 31st of 2021. I have a bit of a croaky throat just now because I was just doing a different reading, and part of theirs was regarding their throat chakra. So I'm still, it's like it will go over. It just hasn't yet. Okay. So I'm just trying to clear that from my own self. I'm going to actually use some selenite and some Archangel Metatron. Ah, thank you. Yeah, that feels better. Okay. That's awesome. All right, so we're getting your cards out. So this is a general reading for all of you, Taurus. And of course that means this is a group reading. So all the Taurus guardian angels come forward and they combine all their energies and they make the perfect reading for you guys that will resonate with the most of you. So any part of this that doesn't resonate, just wait for a minute because the rest of it probably will be better, right? Take what does, leave the rest. Okay, so, okay. Now let's just see. Yeah, oh, this looks good. This looks good. First thing your angels want you to do is open your heart to love. Feel how warm and fuzzy that feels? Like that's just amazing. It's like I'm not sure, something you've been kind of closed off a little bit for the last while. It's like you're rethinking things that you thought you knew. But it feels very much like coming back to yourself and understanding that no, you had the right of it. Yeah. So there's no, like, something or other caused you to question something that you've been thinking or doing or feeling or behaving or whatever. But you've worked your way through it and you're coming back now to understand that no, you're good. You're good. You were fine to be the way you were. And it's really great that whatever that was can cause you to rethink. That is being open. Thing is that made you think that you were wrong, and you weren't. You weren't. Not in this case. I mean, sometimes you would be, and then you would change your perspective and be all good again, right? But this has caused you to close your heart a little bit, thinking that makes you too vulnerable, maybe, or something like that. But you're getting to that point again where you can open up and be yourself again with the people around you and let yourself be loved. Let yourself show love. It's there's also some, you've been hurt in the past in your heart and you've guarded it very well since then. So this feels like it's for different people. Let yourself heal from that hurt. Not everyone is like that. There is somebody out there for you. So, the people who are single and looking for love, it feels like that person is close. You might have to take note, like notice who's around, who loves you, who's silent, because sometimes the one who loves you isn't speaking it, right? See what resonates with you. See who's around. Like it could be a romantic love, but it doesn't have to be. It feels like maybe it's a really good friendship love or something like that too. Like depending on what it is going on around you right now. Just open your heart so that you can feel that love, so that you can notice it when it's there. Otherwise, like you've been pretty blocked up there. If there's somebody who you can get in touch with who does energy healing work, so healing touch or therapeutic touch or Reiki or, something like that, definitely have a session of that. That will really work well for you. And let yourself be open, not only in the heart, but everywhere. Yeah. It's time to open up. It's like cracking that old facade and getting it out of the way. It's no longer serving you. Okay. Now when you do that, you still have to have very clear boundaries, right? It feels like some of you have not really had boundaries, even though you've been very much protecting yourself. It's like you've been just letting people say whatever they want to you, and it's been for a long time. And you know what? Guess what? It's time for you to learn that you don't have to take those things. And you don't have to be an asshole about it. I mean, you can just say, hey, that's inappropriate, or that's not okay to say to a person, and laugh a little bit and walk away. Seriously, walk away. If you're at your house and they do that, then say, okay, time for you to leave. These people have been, like, you have, by your attitude, by your lack of boundaries, have just allowed people to say and think whatever they want about you. And okay, to an extent, who cares, right? But when they're saying it right to you and it's hurtful, that's not okay. You're better than that. And you know you're better than that. Most times they know they're better than that. They're just trying to build themselves up, right? So your goal isn't to knock anybody else down. Your goal is to say, no, I am better than that, and that what you just said doesn't suit me. It doesn't. So it's time for you to be creating these boundaries so that the people around you understand that you are better than you've been letting on. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you are having, like, you are very sensitive, and you've been, that's a lot of this what, with the closed heart, you are very sensitive, and so some of the things that are said, you just take them very personally and take them right to heart. And so when you create the boundaries, you're learning also at the same time how much more important it is what you think of you than it is what anybody else thinks of you. At the same time, you're pretty sensitive. And so what other people think of you, it takes on a larger role than really it should. This also applies to things like chemicals and cleaning products and perfumes and, all those chemical things, the man-made things, right? And that maybe you're more sensitive to them. So probably you have some allergies and food sensitivities and things like that. Do a detox, or several actually. So you get sensitive when you've got a buildup of those things, too much of that in your body. So start with a bowel cleanse. A little bit later, I was about to say a month, but they're kind of saying it'll be different for different people. So whatever, master herbalist or whoever that you consult with, ask them how long, like do a bowel cleanse and then do a liver cleanse and do a kidney cleanse. Just get all that stuff flushed out and clean and clear so that you've got the toxins gone to start with, and do those things regularly. In the meantime, eat organic stuff so that you're not taking in more of those toxins and chemicals and stuff like that. If you're, like a welder or something, then make sure you do a heavy metal detox. Like make it personal to you, because these things are building up and you need to flush them out and get rid of them so that you can clear the allergies, so that you can get your gut microbiome back in balance. All those things, like, and so that brings, so back in balance, that's exactly the right phrase, to bring things back in balance. This applies also, so we've talked about food, and we've talked about chemical, and we've talked about detoxing, we've talked about relationships, I guess, the people who say things past your boundaries, right? It applies, to every aspect of your life. So clearing out all that harshness is going to be a thing for you so that you can get more in balance. Okay, there we go again, back in balance. These are all really great things. of how to bring yourself back to you. Okay, now next, this is almost like a step-by-step guide. Open your heart to love. Create your boundaries. Do detoxes and clearing so that your sensitivities can reduce. Next, ask for what you want. How do you do that? First, sit quietly with yourself and just ask yourself, if you were living your absolute ideal life right now, where are you? Kind of a home do you live in? How much money do you have? How does that money come to you? Who's around you and how do they treat you? How do you treat them? How do you feel? What does food taste like? What does the earth feel? Well, or the surface under your feet? How does that feel? What is your health like? How energetic are you? All those things. Really feel into that and ask for what you want. Ask for the whole damn thing. I mean, there's no limits to this. If you want it, ask for it. If you want just, the most amazing life that you could ever dream up, ask for that. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Deliberately ask for that. And do that regularly and often and do it with joy instead of with lack. Right? Yeah. Ask for what you want. Okay. While you're doing that, and this is to do with the boundaries and the opening your heart as well, the being sensitive part, stay true to yourself. So don't be compromising your values for things that, even though they might seem really important right now, don't be compromising that. You know what you know because it's for you. Stay real. Stay with yourself. Everybody else can think something different. It doesn't matter. It's okay. They can do that. If they pressure you, just tell them that is my boundary and you are crossing it. If you want to stay in my life, you have to stop crossing these boundaries. No coercion. No pressure of that kind from other people is allowed. You know yourself. You don't need input from anybody else unless you're asking. Maybe you're genuinely curious about something and you have a question, and then you're going to ask. Until that point, it is not appropriate for anybody to volunteer stuff, right? And so make sure that you line up your behavior, your thoughts, your actions, line up with your best self. Because that's how you keep your self-respect. Mm-hmm. And after you're doing all this is like confirmation that everything you've been doing, you're on the right path, even though it feels really disruptive, feels like for the first time in your life, you are taking a stand and everybody's going, what the hell has happened to him? Because they don't, or her, obviously, because they don't recognize you that way. You've always been that, just that you've chosen to be, a little more retiring, a little quieter, a little back in the background, and just kind of do your thing. But now, because of the pressure put on you, now you feel the need to stand firm. Everybody's kind of like, I don't even recognize that person. Okay. It feels disruptive, but it's true and it's real and it's yours. And you need to stay doing that to keep your integrity. And all of this leads to peace. This is the outcome. In case you're getting discouraged partway through, the outcome is peace. Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, so now we have the daily guidance cards. And so let's see what is one last bit of wisdom that your angels want you to know. Same message. What do you desire? Think it through, feel it through. What do you want? And ask for it. Have daydreams. Do this every day and write it down. Make it your life story. Make it beautiful, make it enjoyable, make it fun, make it just the best you could ever imagine. Okay, awesome, Taurus. Thank you so much for joining me. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and how much I love you, and I will see you next week.